Dr. Joy and Dr. Marcia, who are founding pillars of the Tacoma campus for the Evergreen State College, correct?
Yep.
So very honored to be in the presence of these two brilliant women. I'm guessing, hardworking and all that as well, but, so yeah, I mean, you guys are very real pillars in the community of Tacoma. How did you guys get started? How did you guys get into the business of taking care of and growing and nurturing a college?
Okay, I guess I'll start.
Okay.
I moved to Tacoma in around 1980. That was the first time I was
Okay.
living here, and I did because Dr. Maxine Mims, who
Okay.
founded the Evergreen State College, asked me to be her heir apparent.
Okay.
It's really critical in the Black community that we train our successors while we're still vibrant and have memory
Yeah.
to be able to pass it on.
Yeah.
And so Dr. Mims just wanted to make sure that the artistic directorship of the campus was in the hands of someone she had trained.
Okay.
So I moved here and started working with the Tacoma campus in 1980
Okay.
and went from a faculty to the executive director in 1990.
Okay, wow. So just in 10 years, you learned kind of every aspect of what it means to
Every aspect.
oversee and uphold.
Exactly.
College like that. Wow.
Exactly. I held every position in those 10 years. I was
Wow.
in charge of students. I was in charge of summer school. I was
Wow.
in charge of the curriculum, the pedagogy, etc. as a way of training. So I got a chance to see her and use her as an example, and also a chance to be coached with her
Yeah.
in a way that would make me indigestible when I was in the belly of the academic beast.
That's incredible. That's really awesome. That's really cool for her too, to be able to have the insight to see a need for that and to properly form you into the person that she knew she needed. You know what I mean? And the person that she knew you were capable of becoming.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Exactly. And she left me with an assignment, which was to replace myself when it was time to leave.
Okay.
And I was blessed enough
Okay.
to have worked with Dr. Arunga for many years. And in fact, she shadowed me in terms of my directorship.
Okay.
So when the opportunity for a dean came,
Yeah.
the community loudly proclaimed, "Go find Marcia and have her apply."
Okay. That's incredible. So yeah, Dr. Marcia, so you were kind of selected by your own community to be where you're at today.
Yeah, I would say that I was tapped by Dr. Hardiman, who I met more than 40 years ago. I was a student when I met her at the University of Washington, and I think that I was so taken by her depth of knowledge. Coming from New York, I think that mattered, that you were from New York. And then everything you told me, you would say, well, Maxine says. So I always had this, who is this Maxine, because she had such wise words that you would share with me. And I was so excited when I finally met Maxine. Maxine is someone who will definitely, what would I say, intimidate you when you meet her for the first time.
Yeah,
A fabulous
she's
black
presence.
woman, very much a strong presence. And so I had two wonderful models of what it was to be a woman leader.
Okay.
And so I have been humbly chosen to step into that position. I've been the dean now for 6 years.
Okay.
And I had the benefit of being close to the tutelage of Dr. Mims and of Dr. Hardiman.
Okay.
If you come to Evergreen State College, you will enter our largest room called the Mims and Hardiman Hall.
Okay.
And it's named after these two fabulous women. So I'm just humble enough to continue the work of running a college, of being responsible for giving out BA degrees to to people in the Hilltop.
Yes.
We are spread. We're not just in the Hilltop. We teach people from Seattle all the way to Thurston County. We're everywhere. People will join us. But I think that our purpose at Evergreen was to make our community stronger. We have become a hub. We've always been a hub. Certainly when Dr. Mims and Dr. Hardiman were part of Evergreen, it was like a community hub. And we've just revitalized that and tried to continue it.
Yeah. And it started as like kind of like you said, like a community hub, and then it became something that was like a societal, like structural hub, undeniable to the powers that be or whatnot.
Exactly. Virginia Taylor, it's really important to say her name, who was a profoundly brilliant woman who was the original person that, right now they call it the Mosaic, and then it was the Ethnic Fest, but way in the beginning, it was Destiny Day Parade and Destiny Day Festival. And Virginia was committed, she was committed to the Hill, and she was the editor of the Northwest Dispatch. And she was the founder of the Destiny Day Community Award, things like that. And she came to Dr. Mims and myself and said, when we were trying to figure out where to do our permanent location of the college, and she said, it must be on the Hill. You must stay on the Hill.
Yes.
You must be for the Hilltop and for the community of Tacoma what Columbia was never. Columbia came to Harlem and didn't enrich it in any way. Right? And she said, no, we need Dan Evans, because he was the governor at that time. We need Dan Evans' college in the middle of the Hill, and we need the Hill to be enriched by the presence.
Right.
And so we did. When we moved to the Hill, when Virginia said to move, we were on 12th and Martin Luther King, and the Shoved Up was across the street, and the Bluebird was across the street, and Brown. And so it was like a kind of hub. Brown's was cool because everybody came, but Shoved Up basically, was dealing, and so was Bluebird. And but after the college got there, and all these people came, and some of our students were parole officers, and they would go into the Bluebird and the Shoved Up, and everybody would have to leave because it was violation of the parole to be there. That we gradually cleaned up K Street just by our presence, and we were there before the police came, and our security was a Nation of Islam.
Right.
So when we say it was a community-based, a community support, a community wished for, a community supported, and a community mirror and window, we are very serious about that.
No, I keep trying to think of the word. I'll ask you guys later for your more long form interview that we do in the future, because I know you guys are doctors. You guys gotta have the word, but I keep thinking of it. But that's really incredible. This is amazing. So as far as for the future of Tacoma, what I guess would be your guys' visions for the future of Tacoma, and how are you guys taking steps now, or who are you guys putting into place to take those steps, or who are you guys seeing who are taking similar steps?
It's funny, Dr. Hardiman is looking at me, but she's also shaping that future.
Right.
One of the things I want to talk about is the years I spent, almost over a decade, working at Monroe Prison. And when I went there, I had no idea that the majority of my students in the Black Prisoners Caucus, they had just started a program called University Beyond Bars.
Wow.
And
this was without your knowledge, they went and did this?
Oh, they were doing it before I came.
Okay.
Black Prisoners Caucus. Oh, they're more than 50 years old inside the prison system.
Okay.
So I was invited to come in there, but what I did not know was that more than half of the students were from the Hilltop.
Gotcha.
And this was in the year 2001, and I stayed until 2011. So during those 10 years, what I realized was that there was a ravaging of violence that happened here on the Hilltop. it changed the whole landscape of the Hilltop in many ways. And many of the men who would have been the stalwarts, the people who shaped the Hilltop, who brought their families and raised the community, were absent.
Right.
And they were in prison. And that was very profound for me. And today, now that I'm 6 years in at Evergreen State College, these are men who are now coming out of the prison. They've started the Black Prisoners Caucus community organization. And so what we see now is a need to continue that education for them, and that we can strengthen the presence of Black men in the Hilltop just through education and through letting them know they have a safe place to be, to organize for the community, and to also just be contributors to the community in positive ways. And so I'm really grateful for that history. And I think that this is one way in which education can contribute to the progress that's being made in the Hilltop in terms of building and reclaiming community here. Secondly, I would raise the need to come together in collaboration with the Puyallup tribe. Let's always remember we're on native soil.
Yes, ma'am.
And that this history goes long before any of us were here. And they, at some point, were told that they were extinct. They had gone extinct. The state of Washington was about...
They used to say that about the
state had actually declared them extinct.
Wow.
And they were about to reclaim all of the land that was once set aside for the Puyallup. And in reclaiming it, they would be able to build, affordable housing, everything we see coming up now. And Ramona Bennett, who was one of the elders, today is one of the elders. At that time, she was a 20-something-year-old woman. She went to Evergreen State College, and she attended Wounded Knee as a independent learning contract at Evergreen State College, and came back radicalized. She wanted to go and find everyone who had ever been related to the Puyallup so she could rebuild that community. Her history is very intertwined with Evergreen State College Tacoma, because when Evergreen State College Tacoma came out of the kitchen of Dr. Mims, she offered, it was Ramona Bennett who offered Dr. Mims, bring Evergreen to the Puyallup Indian House, a very small 2-bedroom building, house, really, literally a little house, but it was bigger than Dr. Mims' kitchen. And that's where they first moved to. So there's an inextricable link between the Puyallup tribe and the Evergreen State College. First of all, because both of us were intent on reclaiming community. But second of all, because we shared space together. And we want to really see that collaboration reborn, just reignited, so that we can build what we understand. There are people in the Puyallup tribe who don't have their degrees, and they are running. They rebuilt the tribe with the knowledge they have, and we would like to work with them more to get their degrees. And we have that inextricable connection. So, even though they built it without education, we want to validate that the education they have and the education they need, so that we can continue the growth together. So we envision a future in which our communities can come together and work together to elevate the vibrations, not just of the Hilltop, but of the Tacoma region that includes the Puyallup Indian tribe.
Right, because in continuing for the future, what we really want to do, and Dr. Runga is really doing it, so I'm so happy, is to continue Virginia Taylor's assignment, which was to serve the residents of the Hilltop and beyond.
Right.
So by serving our formerly incarcerated,
Right.
men,
Mm-hmm.
by serving the Puyallup, the elders then become models for the younger people who
Yes, ma'am.
we really want to get the young Puyallups wanting to think that college is an option for them.
Mm-hmm.
And also under Dr. Runga's directive, we are also now, in terms of future, reaching out into the education community.
Okay.
We want to, right now we have a dual language program on the campus
Okay.
that works with, that works in both Spanish and English
Mm,
with those people who are interested in going into early childhood education.
that's good.
And Dr. Runga's vision is K through 12, is to work with the paraprofessionals, because the brilliant people, paraprofessionals, in these hilltop communities that are stuck in these manual, redundant jobs because they don't have the degree. So we have to impact the educational system, as well as the justice system, as well as partnerships with our indigenous people. So those are the three primary thrusts right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that is what we've always seen. One of the things about Evergreen, different than other schools like the U of W, we're very student-centered.
Okay.
Okay.
So, as opposed to faculty-centered. At the U, faculty teach their discipline and their passion. At Evergreen, we ask the students, what is it they need to learn?
Yes, ma'am.
And we design classes and curriculum to match that.
Wow, that's good.
So in the future, we'll be looking at issues around food,
Yes.
because we are in a desert, and what does that mean? And we have food that's killing us,
Right.
killing the hilltop community. All you have to do is go to the 7-Eleven
Yeah.
and see everybody walking out with the Cheetos
The
and
fast
everything.
food stuff,
all
yeah.
the fast
Yes,
food
ma'am.
stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
So we've got to look at that. We have to figure out, how do we keep our community live? So that's
Yes.
one of the ways that Dr. Tater Runga is thinking of moving the curriculum to look at those issues, to look at issues like history.
Yes.
Because our history is being erased, just like that.
It looks that way.
Right, and so we have to investigate it, and we have to document, according to her,
Yes, ma'am.
not only the known ones, but the unknown people and our own families,
Mm-hmm.
and give them props that they were able to hold their house for 2 or 3 generations.
I have a question. Do we have like an agriculture like type of
Yeah.
deal that we can be able to invest into to, get the community involved and we start growing our own food?
Yes. Well, you know what's happening on the hilltop, because we're on a hill.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of the toxins that have come from industries on the bottom of the hill, they rise up.
Up to- yes,
and they
ma'am.
have settled here. And the soil now is often very toxic.
Okay.
And we're learning how to massage that soil with mushroom treatments and so forth, so that the soil can treat and grow vegetables that are healthy again.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a small garden here at Evergreen State College, Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
In our parking lot, we have built this very small garden.
Okay.
But it is the beginning of thinking about
Yes.
how might we grow our own
Own stuff,
food
yes.
on
Yeah.
our own land.
Yes, ma'am.
We also have a hydroponic equipment that has been donated to us, and we are looking at what does it take to grow vegetables indoors,
Yes, ma'am.
with using light and water, and having it rotate for several weeks.
Like natural resources.
Natural resources.
Yes, ma'am.
We can actually grow vegetables. Say lettuce, for example. We can grow our lettuce in 60 days.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is what we need to come back to,
Yes.
is what vegetables can feed us and
Yes, ma'am.
nurture us. And I so appreciate what you're saying, Dr. Hardiman, because in the future, if we come back to the hilltop in about 10 years, we should see some very healthy families
I agree.
growing, because they are taking charge of their own vegetables
good.
in which they're going to eat. They're not depending on Safeway or some no
understand.
problem
Yes,
with
yes, ma'am.
Safeway,
Yes, ma'am.
but just thinking about how you can have your own agency
Yes, ma'am.
in your family and take charge of the food that you eat.
So let me ask you this question too, because I've noticed that we have like a microwave society, like everything has to be quick and right away. What can we do to actually get the children's attention, to have them involved in eating healthy, growing healthier foods? What can we do to involve them with that type of environment?
That's beautiful. I think really it does start with the parents because they're going to set the standards. So we are dealing with adult learners. Just to so you know, we're 36 years, 37 years average age student.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we're not dealing with young people. Usually they do have families.
Yes, ma'am.
And in addition, as Dr. Hardiman mentioned about our dual language program, a lot of those students are coming to what we call early childhood education program because this is both east of the mountains and here in the Tacoma region, teachers who are teaching early childhood, so nursery schools, early childhood centers. Those teachers are now getting their degrees at Evergreen. So we like to think we are preparing teachers who are going to look at what it is to prepare children who will be the adults of the
Yes.
mid-21st century.
I agree.
And they will have this knowledge through modeling, through experimentation, through getting their hands really into the soil and becoming comfortable with the soil so that they can be productive in the raising of their own vegetables and fruits.
And just one little thing about that. All students in the spring do spring projects. They do take research areas,
Okay.
community issues. A significant number, I think at least one-fourth of our students were concerned about notions of food and permaculture, and so their projects involved how to involve children
Yes,
in it. So we had,
good,
so you could go through and see all the posters
Right.
where they did experimentations about what happened when children could put their hands in the ground.
Right, yes.
When they could see where something came from, that the tomato
Yes.
isn't just something at Safeway that's been shot up with
Right, you
hormones.
actually put the seed in the ground and watch it grow.
Right.
You
Yes.
nurtured it and did everything you could to make it you know,
Right.
thrive.
Right,
Look at it.
so most of their projects had that, how do we educate the children and
Okay.
bring them to this component?
I agree. I
And
think
then
that's
there's
exactly what we need, but go ahead.
Well, then they're learning those soil treatment tactics so that they're not, their soil that they're growing it in isn't poisoned by the lead and arsenic and stuff.
Yes.
Right.
That's why we introduced the hydroponics, which are towers of light
Right.
and water that is constantly flowing and growing vegetables using no soil
Okay.
and not being outdoors. So we have options.
So you can just get purified water in there and then there's no issue with that in the first place.
That's right, yeah, and it recycles. So the fact that it recycles also is sustainable. We're talking about sustainability.
Yeah.
We waste a lot of water in growing foods, vegetables and fruits, but also animals.
Okay.
All need water. In fact, they take most of the water to grow this industry that we need to take into our own hands and not necessarily depend on big industry to run these things.
So Young Black and Brilliant was founded in 2021 during the pandemic when it was a lot of kids doing virtual learning, of course.
Okay.
I was teaching remote teaching online. I was actually, So anyways, we started during the pandemic. It was an all boys book club. We started with 11 youth.
Okay.
And then it went from there to second year is co-ed. So our mission at Young Black and Brilliant is to foster personal growth
Okay.
and positive social interactions amongst youth through literature, discussions, and social events. Yeah, so every book the kids read, we take them out on a social event. We invite guest speakers to come in, teach the kids life skills, do workshops.
Okay, how did you get started with that?
What's empowered me to do it is because I had a youth. Of course, at that time he was 12 years old, and
Okay.
I really wanted him to read more.
Okay.
And I also wanted him to have community. So for me, I was like, well, let's be the change that, I want to be the change that I want to see. So I actually started with 4 boys and just getting them reading more. I actually had some mentors. I was telling them, hey, I have these 4 boys, we're reading books.
Okay.
And then from there, it kind of grew.
Okay.
And then I started the book club.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a website?
We do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
our website is YBNB
Okay.
readersclub.org.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Make sure you do the www.
Okay. So on your website, you have like a lot of books. How many books have you written already, or like what type of like?
Okay. So I don't write books, but we read books by all Black authors.
Gotcha.
So our youth, so we want to empower our youth to actually read books, and so they can have representations of themselves and they can see themselves in those books. So they're all YA books that they read.
Of course.
Yeah. So the list of books is on our website.
Okay.
And different genres, but they're all by Black authors.
That's good. That's good. And so, are you seeing any potential as far as like the kids learning?
Absolutely. So yes, because through our program, we actually measure their fluency and then their comprehension. We do book club kits. When
Okay.
they enroll, they get book club kits, and we each book that they read, we have novel guides that go with the book, so they can answer the questions. And we can see how they're comprehending the books. But our program, it's really it's a cohorted program. So we have 20 kids in the program.
Wow.
Now since 2021 is when we founded the organization. That first cohort graduated out last year, which
Okay.
was the
Let's
group
go.
of boys. Yeah. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, and then this past year, because it's a 9-month program, so it runs from September to June. So
Okay.
this past year, it's like flipped. We almost had all girls,
Right.
which is awesome. Which
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
amazing. Yeah. So now this is the second cohort.
Let me ask you this: what age range are they like attracting right now?
Yep, 11 to 16. So we try to keep it that middle age junior high. So it's like, if they're 5th grade, they're going into the 6th grade to be in middle school. But
Okay.
if they're 6th grade going into 7th grade, it's that junior high. So we try to get them in that age where it's pivotal for them,
Mm-hmm.
and they can have actually community.
So there's a gray area rather, and maybe cut off like around 6th and 7th
At
grade.
16, so at about 9th, 10th grade is where the cutoff is, because they usually be like 16 and 10th grade. But then the kids that graduated like last year,
Mm-hmm.
once they're 16, they can come back and be junior leads.
Okay, let me ask you
Okay,
this:
word. There we go.
you got a question?
I have like 3 questions, but so keep going.
Okay, so have you seen any progress as far as the children's like mindset as far as reading and being a part of the program? Have they grown? Have they?
When it comes to so we like to empower our youth as well.
Right.
There's different things that we do. We take them out on social events, things that they're normally
Good,
not,
good
used
deal.
to.
Yeah.
But then we also have guest speakers come in. I definitely see a lot in their confidence because
Okay.
we do around Black History Month. We have them do presentations. They were judged on it, but with historical figures, and then they're the ones that presented those historical figures.
Correct.
Yeah, you definitely see your insight. The reading has gone up in a lot of our youth.
That's good.
Their comprehension, confidence, just them being
because
leaders as well, leadership.
Yeah, that confidence part is what everybody needs, especially when you're doing like stuff like this. Your confidence level has to be up there, and that encourages a person as far as like reading or being a part of something you want to do. It helps you go to the next level. You know what I mean? When you put forth that effort to actually even do it. But
Absolutely,
I get
and even with youth interacting with one another, because during the pandemic, you've seen that go
Yeah,
down
yeah.
with interaction and socializing. So those social skills, and just emotional intelligence, all that, we're teaching that so those kids can have those soft skills and being able to interact with one another.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
so important for us.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I just want to speak on the way that that kind of ties in with the last conversation, talking about sustainability
Okay.
and just how efficient the program is that you have set up, where you're creating a safe space for these kids, but you're also making the most of that safe space to be able to be educating them and really having that safe space be an investment towards their future rather than just simply, you know, they're playing video games or something like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly right. Yeah.
And then how also there's kind of like a continued net for them after they graduate out of that to be able to continue to grow in their leadership skills and whatnot. And I'm guessing you guys don't really reread books that often.
So what we do is, so they use, and then within the 9 months, they read about 5 books. But
Okay.
then we also teach them financial literacy. So we give them YBB bucks, which is fake money, for
Right,
being on
right.
time, bringing their books,
I like that. I like that.
doing their novel guides and stuff. And then we set up a youth store where they can actually purchase. Now with the YBB bucks, each session, because they meet every Thursday evening, and we feed the kids and all that. But they have to balance the checkbook, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah,
to,
you
you know,
gotta
some
learn
money
that, yeah.
in, right? Is
yeah.
that deposit. Money out is withdraw.
So it also teaches them spending responsibilities. Yeah,
Absolutely,
that's good.
budgeting and everything,
Yeah,
because
that's good.
we have twice a year where they can actually shop, so they get to see, okay, do I want to save my money
Exactly.
now
Yeah,
or
yeah,
to the
yeah,
end
yeah.
of the year? And
I
end of
like
the year
that.
we have a big banquet
I
for
like
the
that.
kids, and then they are able to purchase.
Let me ask you this: are you willing to come back to the show and talk to us
Absolutely.
about
Yeah.
the books
Absolutely.
and maybe elaborate a little bit on different copies that you may have that you think the community might be interested in
Absolutely.
reading?
Actually come to our
Wow.
book club, and then also illustrators, and then on Zoom when we first started, we had a few authors that, like Tori Maldonado, he
Okay.
came in, or he actually was on Zoom with the kids. So we try to get local authors, but then also authors that are Black,
Right.
around the world, and let them know, hey, we're a book club. How can we,
Be a part of the community and reach out. I got it.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why we started this podcast, so that we could be able to introduce to the community or the world, period, you know, what we're doing here in Tacoma.
I love that.
Yeah, bringing Tacoma to Tacoma. So,
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
we love it.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Do you have anything to speak on as far as promoting or kind of like future things that you guys are manifesting?
Absolutely. So September 6th is our kickoff. We're inside the Puyallup Library. So we have a partnership with Puyallup Library September 6th.
Gotcha.
September 18th is our first session for the kids, because again, it's a 9-month program.
Okay.
So yes. So if you are interested, you can actually go on and follow us on Instagram at young_black and then in brilliant.
Okay,
And then we're
okay.
also on Facebook, YBNB.
All right, we'll make sure that information gets on the website so people can be able to see exactly where to go.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you coming in and
Yeah,
answering
thank you
these
so much.
questions. I appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
for having me.
Yep, no problem. We'll see you on the next one.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you. Welcome back. We're with Dr. Janice Clark, who has graced us with her presence. We're going to be hitting her with some questions today. And right off the bat,
I think the first question we would want to ask is, how did you get started?
Oh, great. That's awesome question. So 30 years ago, my father, many years in the communities past now, but our church. So I'd been a pastor's kid and have a benevolence for the community in the Hilltop community. And then I got a call to come out and serve community. We had our young people at the YMCA. We would go to YMCA on Friday night to witness to them. And one of the girls, young girls, was being molested. And I found out, and it broke my heart. My home was safe growing up. That's why the agency is named Safe Homes. Because my home was safe, and that's what the Creator told me, that no wonder these children can't get it, many of them, because their homes are not safe.
Okay.
And I vowed I would do something. So I resigned my state job of 7 years and started the nonprofit organization June 1st, 1995.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And haven't looked back. And so
wow, so you just celebrated your 30th.
you just celebrated 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's good. That's good. Sorry, you got a question.
I mean, yeah, that's incredible. So, what was kind of the journey that led you to being where you're at now? Because you serve, and now how, I guess, explain to the people how you serve our community currently.
Oh, absolutely. So the legacy continues.
Right.
So from what my dad, we built the Christian school. Some people know the Hilltop, the Rise Center of Hilltop.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah.
That
we know
was
what
the
it is.
Christian Brotherhood
Yeah.
Academy.
Okay.
We built that school ground up. I was my dad's secretary. We bought the land. And so the benevolence for kids to get an education, my dad felt this way and I felt that way, and the legacy continues. So currently, we started working with the at-risk kids in the community and their families, because children don't come without adults in their lives.
True.
And then as a woman veteran, I've served 40 years, who's counting, in the military. And so that drive and passion and dedication too is what continues to be a force multiplier, if you will, to continue to live and give. So we have 3 divisions now. We still have our youth division serving young people
Okay.
and their family. We have a women veterans division
Okay.
that serves specifically women veterans, because we have different unique challenges.
True.
And then our 3rd division, Military Wellness Initiative Network, where we is a bridge in community for active duty, reserve, and National Guard and their families, to connect them to community resources.
Wow,
okay.
As they, find their lives outside of the military.
Yeah. Okay,
Wow.
so
That's incredible. Thank you.
yeah,
You're
appreciate
welcome.
your service for sure. So, do you guys get a lot of youth that come in that need like maybe attention as far as like, leading them in the right direction, as far as like showing them, different ethnic backgrounds and stuff like that they should understand or know about the Tacoma area?
Yeah, and we're expanded, right? So we're international, so Safe Homes is international. So in 2022 and 23, we specifically served largely King County African children, and they did skits and wrote plays and even wrote a song. There was the COVID Busters. And so that working within those 5 countries of those kids here, and also American kids too, but it makes it nice and blend where other kids can have a greater appreciation for each other. And so expanding to 5 counties. So we're in Snohomish County, King County, Pierce County, obviously Tacoma Hilltop is our footprint,
Yeah.
Thurston County and Kitsap County. Why
Wow.
those counties is because the majority of military and their families either in those bases or
Right.
live in those areas.
Wow.
And so that in the totality of the agency, having 3 divisions now, but just starting out serving kids.
Right.
So now all across that whole continuum are children. And you're absolutely correct in the fact that we have to help the children know who they are and
True.
why they're here.
True.
And then once they get a good feel of their self-confidence and self-esteem increase, then we can talk about, now what do you want to do now that you're feeling good about yourself?
Right.
And then we pair them up with adult role models. And we're very, very selective in adults, because children, they already believe that adults are liars. Let's be real honest about it, because sometimes adults, we as adults, we'll tell them we'll do this, we'll do that.
Right.
Something else comes up, life keep lifing.
That's true.
And then the young people, it's like, wait a minute, and
You said you would
essentially,
do
you
this,
said you're
yeah.
gonna do that.
Yeah.
So it really is a lie, right? So we
True.
have to, when I start working with the kids and I was teaching them, I was a teacher, the garbage keeper, the door, to get the money, everything, right? To drive them home, the whole 9 yards, right? In the trenches with them, right?
Right.
Yep.
And I learned and I tell them that, look, I don't have a right to stand before you and tell you anything. I have to earn that respect, and conversely, you have to earn that respect. So
That's true.
respect is earned.
That's true.
And as we respect one another, and when you come through the doors of the agency, it's none of this slags, all the things that young people are accused of doing, hanging their pants down low, whatever, talking different things. Like, nope, this is not what we're doing up in here. Check it at the door. You need to go out and step back in. And it's very powerful when we empowered them, and we did youth councils. And we taught them what president, vice president, secretary, treasurers, do and directors.
Right.
So then they, in their youth council, then they had leadership. And our job as adults was to go out if they needed a building, whatever they needed, money, they wanted to do a dance or whatever, to go and supply all of those things. And they determined what will happen at that event.
Gotcha.
That way it wasn't, well, Miss Janice said do it. Because if it goes wrong, then say, well, Miss Janice said, right? But when you involve them and empower them, they take up for their idea and they will recruit other young people.
You're
And
giving them their own agency.
that's it. That essentially is. There's a young young businessmen, and and a shout out to Threat Brown. There's about 13 of these young men.
Shout out.
Amen. And they came in. I had several buildings in the Hilltop at that time, and I said, okay, you young businessmen, this is your office. Okay, you got the keys to the building. If you bring some of your clients in here and they put a hole in the wall, they do something in your business,
Right.
you get to pay for that. And you got to make sure it's locked up. These are your things. If you steal anything from here, you're stealing from yourself. Because these
That's true.
things is for you.
Yeah.
And man, I tell you, that was such a blessed time to mentor them and be their fiscal sponsor.
Yeah.
Because someone in community, the Tacoma Weekly newspaper, there was a friend working there, and she introduced me to him. She said, there's a group of young black men, and they're leaders, about 13 of them. They're living together. Homeless but not homeless because they were living in a house together, and the leader was taking care of them and said, Miss Janice, you can help them. And I did, and they came in, and I mean, I tell you, they named me Miss Get With It.
Really? I've got a question for you. You've been on the Hilltop for years, and you've had a lot of women come into the facilities that you guys run, correct? Let me ask you this. How many people have came in that you've seen that have actually reformed?
Well, that would be a good question if we were cut that way.
Okay.
But because we are not only women, children, men, across the board,
Okay.
and it's conducive for learning. So can you imagine you come into a lab and you learn things, and then you take that what you learned back out into the world
Yeah.
of community. So over the years, 30 years plus, right?
Yeah, who knows?
Thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of families.
I believe that, yeah.
We used to give away turkeys in the community well
Yes, ma'am.
before what is currently happening, which is
Happening now,
good.
yeah, yeah.
But our church, through church and everything, 300-400 turkey giveaway
Oh, wow.
right here in this People's Center.
Yeah.
Like I said, we started with 25 young people in the Gear Up program right here before we had buildings and houses and that. We
Right.
started right here in this People's Center, so that's why it's always so near and dear.
Yeah.
It's like 360 now, Derek, and thank you guys
Yeah,
for
no problem, no
coming
problem.
home.
Thank
It's
you.
like coming home again and being able to still living and giving,
Mm-hmm.
and lending now, looking back behind us and say, okay, we've paved a way.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be hard like it was hard for us to do.
True.
So now let us bring you up. And one of my mentors said to me, I never will forget it, when I started out 30 years ago, he said, Janice, it's going to be easy for you at some point in your career to sit behind the desk and write a check or something and say, yeah, it's all good over here on this side.
Right.
He said, but what I want you to do is get up and go over to the other side
See if
and
it's
grab
going.
them by the hand and bring them back around.
Good.
So then now you are mentoring and you're showing them how, rather than, okay, pull yourself up by your
And
bootstraps.
expect them to try to do something out of nothing. Yeah, a lot of people I've noticed is hands-on, especially the kids. You know what I mean? If you don't show them what to do, they'll try to figure it out on their own.
That's-
But if you understand how the process works, I mean, the nice thing to do would actually just lead the kid in the right direction, right?
That's
show them
it.
what to do.
That's right. Just be a positive adult role model,
Yes,
which is
ma'am.
an extension of what call them arms,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Extension of the body.
So you basically pull yourself up by the bootstraps to the end of what that is supposed to be in a way that
Yes.
works realistically.
Sounds like it.
That's
where you're
right,
not
be-
just telling someone and then walking away.
Absolutely, because some don't have boots,
That's
let alone
true.
straps.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
So you're making sure they got that. And
That's right.
Here's how you reach your hands down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your shoes are not tied because probably nobody's taught you how to tie them.
Yeah.
So let's do back to the basics. So absolutely right. Rather than, well, you know, so-and-so, I did it, I pulled myself up, so you can do it too. That's not how it works, because we stand
someone
on
probably
shoulders.
showed that person too. Yeah.
And like the elders that you guys interviewed earlier, Dr. Joy Hardeman, she's my education mentor when I first started for my first doctorate degree in '96.
Okay.
She wrote the letter to the university to be my mentor, because you know you got to have the different people speak on your behalf.
Yes, ma'am.
And she taught me I have to be 3 deep, look behind me 3 deep, and see who's coming up behind me, and help mentor them up. And it doesn't matter whether it's boys or girls, because we all are family. We're better together.
That's true.
Doesn't matter what color we are. We all cut us, you bleed us. We all the same.
That's true.
And when we start looking at each other as brothers and sisters, or the younger ones, they're our children or grandchildren, then our community gets better. We
Yeah.
all are better. And I'm a firm believer, because I'm a product of this community.
Amen. Amen. I agree.
Thank you for what you've done for this
Yeah, I
community.
appreciate
Oh,
you.
thank you
I was
guys.
born in St. Joe's.
Okay, yes. My daughter was born at Lakewood General Hospital. That's
Yeah.
no longer,
Yeah.
because you know they tore that down, and now it's St. Clair.
Oh,
But my
okay.
little grandbaby,
Oh, that's
I
different
know what
from
it
the
said,
birthing center.
yeah, different.
Okay,
It was
okay.
a General Hospital in Lakewood then.
Okay.
Yeah, but my baby girl daughter, which would be my granddaughter, she was born in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel comfortable of coming back and talking to us about different, maybe things you may have going on in the community?
Oh, absolutely. Please bring me back, because we are
Please
doing
come
our
back.
Veterans Day program coming up in November. Every November, and you're aware, Derek.
Yes, ma'am, I
because
am.
we've had it here.
I did 3
Yeah.
years now. Yes,
And
ma'am.
so we definitely want to make sure that, you know, your podcast, that was one of my ideas. I'm like, I don't have to reinvent a podcast. I
Yeah,
can come
yeah.
over here and work with you guys and
Yep,
help
yep.
shore you up and resource, and
Yep.
we can do segments and different things
Yes,
together.
ma'am, I
would
appreciate
love
that.
I would love it.
Yeah,
Please
that'd
bring
be
me back.
incredible for us right there.
Yeah.
We're
Thank
just
you.
getting started with it, and
Yeah.
me and Josiah, you know, we're like dedicated for sure. So
Oh, absolutely. You've done an excellent job. I really pray. I was just so impressed when you brought me in here. So, yes,
thank you.
absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
Hats off, Derek and Josiah.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes,
most.
yes. So he's like my. I'm Batman.
Okay.
He's Robin.
He's Robin. Okay. Yeah. You're the wingman.
He's Janice Clark. I'm, you know, whoever you were.
Did he say?
know what I mean?
Did he say Janice Clark?
He did say that. And he said it just rolled smooth.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'll get you.
Yeah, exactly. I got you on the next segment.
Okay.
No, but we appreciate you showing up and actually taking this time out to come and talk to us. I appreciate the information that was given, and later on in the future, once things show up, maybe you'll come back and like enlighten us of like
Oh, I will be
what's
back.
going on. So I appreciate that. We're going to cut the time short on this
Okay,
one.
thank you.
The reason why is because we have one more interview to do,
Oh,
and we're done.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, then you know, everybody got to wrap up, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I appreciate you, and we will talk to you on the next one.
All right,
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you, Dr. Parker.
Yep.